I'd like to welcome everyone to the Mayor's regularly scheduled press conference this week. My name's Howard Elstro. I'm the Director of Public Works standing in for the Mayor today. We have three announcements today. First, Judge Tammie Hursch will be, come on up, please, with your entourage. Judge Hursch will be talking about a summit that has recently taken place in our community and its importance. Judge?
Okay, thank you. Good morning. I wanted to report out on a community justice summit that was held at Allen Oakwood County Correctional Facility, not county, but the State of Ohio Correctional Facility, that was done on October 11, 2016. The importance of this summit is we had community members that actually went into the prison, including LPD, Recovery Services, different Restoration House, Mary Alice House, service providers, the Mental Health Board, came into the facility and actually spoke to the inmates regarding the necessity of seeking treatment while they're incarcerated. What we're finding is that some of the inmates may not seek treatment while they're in the institution because they're somewhat, they're apart from the community, so they don't know what's going on in the community and they don't have the risks associated with their release. Once they are released, they might not have the incentive to continue in treatment. So what we wanted to do is to support them in getting treatment in the institution, which would then be aligned with the treatment that they're going to receive once they're out in the community. My concern about this is, given the fact that a lot of the inmates have been in for 1 to 5 years, they have not seen what's happening on the streets today. With the opiate epidemic, the face of the addict is very different than it was 5 years ago. Drugs are more apparent and on the streets. They're in different areas, and so they're going to be confronted with opportunities to use that they didn't have 5 years ago. So it was our hope if we get people in the community that they may see once they get out that are supportive, welcoming, and supporting their treatment and recovery, that they might do better once they're released. I'd like to introduce Phil Morton. He's responsible for recovery services at Allen Oakwood Correctional Facility, and also Eddie Monfort, who is the community representative. He's from the Allen County Recovery Services and the Reentry Court. So I'll let them speak. Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to say good morning to everyone. As Judge Hursch alluded to, she was actually our guest speaker out at Allen Oakwood Correctional Facility. A lot of times what we get into is, just like she talked about, was that behind the walls the guys get left behind or out of sight, out of mind. And with Judge Hursch, as well as other agencies that came in, you'll have Mr. Montfort coming up speaking. They really enlighten the guys on the resources that are available to them outside the institution. I am a correction program coordinator out to Allen Oakwood Correctional Institution, and we would like, on behalf of Allen Oakwood Correctional, would like to thank Judge Tammie Hursch for coming inside the walls and all the other agencies that came inside there to basically offer this assistance to motivate the guys, encourage the individuals, and help them to really take a look at being responsible and accountable, especially for recovery services. With that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Montfort and allow him just to say a few words too. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Ed Monfort, and I represented Coleman Professionals, but not only Coleman Professionals, but for all the recovery services through the Mental Health and Recovery Services Board. I think one of the things that is incredibly important about this community is that the Mental Health and Recovery Services Board is acutely aware of the fact that people coming out of confinement, whether it be the prison system, the worst center, jail, need to engage in some sort of treatment, whether it's criminal thinking treatment, whether it's drug and alcohol treatment. So what we did, there was a lot of different agencies that went into the prison that day and offered suggestions and things that they could do and treatment options that they can explore sometimes while they're in there, and not only while they're in there, what they have, what kind of options are available to them as they leave. Because they're going to come back into the community, and we'd rather have them come back in the community as a stable force and as a a productive member of society rather than continue the criminal thinking and criminal behavior. So the Recovery Services Board has many services that they render, and that's what we explained to them and gave them options so that they could possibly utilize them and become productive members of our society. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank Mr. Montfort and Morton and Judge Hursch for sharing that with us. Obviously, the kind of treatment and rehabilitation that these people can gain on while they are incarcerated will certainly benefit not only our community but all the communities that they return to. I would like to invite Lieutenant Green up from Lima Police Department. He is going to announce an opportunity for members of the community to deal with unwanted drugs of a different sort. Lieutenant?
Thanks. Good morning. October 22nd, this Saturday, is National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. So we are partnering with the Allen County Sheriff's Office, the Drug Enforcement Administration, Health Partners of Western Ohio, North Central Ohio Solid Waste District, St. Rita's Medical Center, Lima Memorial, Chief Supermarkets, University of Findlay, and Ohio Northern University. And what we are doing is we are going to participate in the National Prescription Drug Take-Back Initiative. The purpose of this is to allow people who have prescription medication at home that is either expired, they're no longer using, or they just don't need, allow them a safe way to dispose of that medication without it coming into the hands of people who might misuse it, divert it to somebody else, sell it, overdose on it, things like that. There are going to be 4 locations on Saturday. The first one is at St. Rita's Medical Center, 718 West Market. We're asking that people that go there enter on the Baxter Street side and exit on Market Street. It's going to be, I believe it's going to be in the parking lot there south of the hospital. Lima Memorial Medical Park, 525 Northeast Town Road. Chief Supermarket at Northland Plaza, and Chief Supermarket at Eastgate Plaza. All 4 of those locations will have a drive-through, and there'll be staff there that will be able to take the medication from you, including a law enforcement officer at each of the 4 sites. The hours for that, again, are October the 22nd from 10 a.m. in the morning until 2 p.m. in the afternoon. As I said, this is a national initiative. This is going on all over the country on October 22nd. And the idea is to give people a safe way to get rid of unwanted medication. If you want more information on this, there's a website that the DEA has, and it is www.deadiversion.usdoj.gov.
Thank you. I want to be clear, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lieutenant. This is open to not only residents of the city, but any person in the county or probably even outside the county. And I want to stress the importance of cleaning out those prescription drugs or whatever drugs you have in your household. The correct disposal of drugs is important not only for the safety of other individuals, but also the disposal of antibiotics in this day and age is something that we are counseled about, that you do not just flush it away or throw it in the landfill. Antibiotics does have effect on our environment. That's something that's become of a concern anymore as we study more about the effects of stormwater runoff. Anything we flush in our sewers eventually ends up in our streams, our rivers, and our lakes. So for the protection of others, protection of our family members, protection of our environment, it's a good time of the year to go through your medicine cabinet, find out what has expired, what is not going to be used, and dispose of it in a safe manner at these very convenient locations this Saturday. So thank you very much. Finally, we have Dr. Dave Adams to come up and talk to us about a community forum. Public Officials Dialogue, and I bet this is at least the 12th one you've held?
Oh,
Or is it more?
oh, it's more than that. Good morning. I'm here representing a program, or maybe, pardon me, it's not really a program, it is an enterprise, a project, I guess is the best word, of Common Threads, which you may remember some years back here in Allen County. It is the Public Officials Dialogue Lunch. We meet now on a quarterly schedule rather than monthly as we did when we began. We began actually 13 years ago, pardon me, in April 2003. So this upcoming dialogue, which will be a week from today, is the 124th Dialogue Lunch. We have not run out of things to talk about, as you might otherwise suppose. In fact, we will be discussing, thanks to a brief keynote presentation by Kathy Meyer, who is the director of the Allen County Elections, Board of Elections. She will be talking briefly about preparing for the November election here in Allen County. And that will be the prompt for dialogue amongst those participating. Stories about elections. One of the stories that I expect to share is my first presidential election, 1960, when I voted for John F. Kennedy, and was an undergraduate at that time at Piedmont College. And after the election, the successful election of President Kennedy, I received a letter of thanks because I wrote to him, not him personally, but to the campaign, requesting brochures and other handouts that I could use at the college where I was attending to encourage my colleagues, my peers, to vote as well. So I think we'll have some good stories to tell. That's the point of the dialogue lunch, to share personal stories, life narratives with each other, and in that way learn a little bit more about each other personally. So that when we come to deal with issues, one side of the issue and the other side of the issue, we know more about the participants in the conversation than just that he or she is on the other side and I'm on this side and I'm not sure we can even talk to each other. It's a proven method of improving relationships in public space. So it's set for a week from today, pardon me, the 26th of October, 12 o'clock until 1 o'clock at the Chamber of Commerce in Suite 100 down on South Main Street. We always conclude our discussions, our dialogue, a little before 1 o'clock so that those persons with actual day jobs can get back on time. Hope to see you there. It is an open meeting, so even if you are, I shouldn't put it that way, it is an open meeting, and so anyone can attend who has an interest in participating. We do invite public officials, elected, appointed, and maybe self-appointed, to attend. And that, is, again, will take place Wednesday, October 26th, Chamber of Commerce at noon. Thank you.
Thank you. That does it for the announcements of this week's Mayor's Press Conference.